What makes the world of reality and the world of fantasy different from each other is the fact that in the first instance, the world of reality has to do with taking concrete, deliberate, and painstaking steps to, achieve set goals. Whilst in the world of fantasy, things or events just happen by wishful thinking or by streak of local magic. Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of Timeout with Licky+2348062358606. And today we are discussing the deleteriousness of Ponzi scheme gaming and betting. Okay, the disadvantages, the deleteriousness of Ponzi schemes, gaming, and betting. Okay, of course, you know that we live in a world where there is uncertainties and people going through one difficult experience or the other, and all of these coalesce into making someone to work under pressure and to always seem to seek the easy way out of the various challenges and problems that are confronting one. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at why do people, okay, always, tend to, take these decisions of, following Ponzi schemes, the get rich quick syndrome, okay? Yes, why do people always fall prey, okay, of that? All right. So today, like always, we have very germane issues that we have outlined for your delight and for your instruction. And today, the very first thing that we think that encourages or makes people or make people to go to that part is when you consider, the juicy interest rate, the astronomical recoupments you're going to get when you patronize these Ponzi schemes, okay? As against when you invest your money in banks or other financial instruments like shares and bonds, that you have to harvest the revenue, over time, okay? You will understand that the interest that you will get in a Ponzi scheme or betting when you win, far outweighs, what you get in the interest rate you get from banks and other financial institutions and instruments, you see. So when you consider that, you will say, man, when you see anybody that tells you, man, issue, like when the people were around, invest 10,000, get 10,000, or invest 10,000, get 30,000, you see, you will jump at the offer, okay? But if it's the conventional banking system, they won't give you more than 5% if you guess that. Okay, so you see, that is it. The banking, interest rate is not that, enticing and encouraging. Okay, all right. Now you see, because there is second issue is that because there is the high level of unemployment in the country that we are in. Okay, there are few opportunities and there are so many people, looking for the same opportunity. Okay, so people have seen it now as, the occupation. Go to bet Nigeria every weekend. Immediately that the European leagues kickstart, people will now be rushing to betting houses. Man, play Manchester and it's playing against Chelsea. Chelsea will win. They'll play, how they do that kind of thing there. So you see, and people end up even losing money instead of winning money. So it's something that's very, very disheartening. Okay, but that's it. These are the three factors that encourage the trust that people now have in these short ways or means of generating revenue. Okay, all right. Now the next thing is that you know people, so most people are docile, okay? People who are not, who do not have conviction on their own beliefs, what they believe, okay? Yes, people who would always, be easily deceived, okay? Yes, because by the time you play that betting once, twice, thrice, you don't get to win it. You see, the money that you have lost won't come back. So, but if I've had information about these things, okay, and you know that, man, this is just, the risk is even more higher than or outweighs, the benefit that you get. So you will just chill because it's just, it's very tiny, a streak of luck that will make you to win the thing. And before you win, you will have to suffer and so. And if you're a student, by the time you use all your feeding money to play Bet Nigeria and all those things, you see, you will start to suffer in school, and then you will start looking for ways to regenerate money which your parents can't even have. The times are hard and people are complaining. Okay, so you see, that's why we have to desist from this shortcut. Let's do it this way, generate, which never is not in existence. Okay, so the next thing is that you want to be better than this person. Okay, you think we are in a competition. Okay, let me buy the latest Gucci, let me buy the latest wristwatch, let me buy the latest ride. Okay, how do we do it? Play game. By the time you play game, the latest one in town is they play ball. Play ball. If you play ball, you hammer. Hammering is not even that easy. It's not easy to hammer. So don't think that it's just if you just follow the ball thing, it doesn't work that way. So yes, it is the competition mindset. Okay, yes, and then the next thing is that is even very close to that is the greed. What they call rapacity. When someone is never content with what someone has, you want to acquire and acquire. Like the politician that packed the whole money that they meant for police, the retired police. Men in Nigeria some time ago in this country, and packed it to his own house. Packed money and packed people. Were asking people when the thing was reviewed, we were asking what was he going to do with all those money that he packed. You see, greed. Rapacity. You want to get the whole thing at the detriment of others. So it's not an encouraging thing. Okay, it's something that we must have to desist from. All right. So having said that, why must people run away, from this Ponzi scheme betting, and gaming stuff? Because it truly mostly backfires. And when it backfires, people start crying. All right, before we start that one, let's just go for a music break. Licky. We'll be right back.
So Fimaro is better than biscuit, and your beauty is better than light switch. You they light up my heart like a matchstick. What you done in the lipstick? Okachara chana chabananya. Onyo fona zamagi judianya. Kana sakwak ina kwakwa. Habuzi a hapo gengaka. Kanyi bere na makanji kaka. Onya mara sokwalu de yaya. Kanyi jisike kanga vidada. Iyo nini anage patata. Mele mele mechaka mamara na para ofe sokita biaka ifimele ebuka mele mele mechaka mamara na para ofe sokita biaka ifimele ebuka mele mele mechaka mamara na para ofe sokita biaka ifimele ebuka. If you ask me, I would say you're 5%, not a cent, but you're just a pleasant set. Whether coincidence or an incident, if you run away, it is an accident. Mele mele mechaka Mama ranabara, ofeso kita piaka, ivi meram ebuka, mele mele mechaka, mama ranabara, ofeso kita piaka, ivi meram ebuka, tapom cara le quale sianya, ivi meram ebuka. Tapon le quale sianya ifi meram ebuka mele mele mechaka mamarana bara sakita biaka ifi meram ebuka mele mele mechaka mamarana bara sakita biaka ifi meram ebuka.
Now, welcome back from that very short music break. Okay, and remember we've been talking about, the deleteriousness of Ponzi schemes, gaming, and betting. Okay, all right. So, what are the consequences? Okay, of this, phenomenon that we're discussing? Of course, there are negative consequences. Okay, so why should people desist from engaging, or toying the part of get rich quick syndrome, okay, as is obtainable in Ponzi schemes, gaming, and betting, okay? All right. The first is that, of course, that system, is never designed to last for a long time, and because it's never designed to last for a long time, the people came to do business, okay? They want to do business, and it will definitely crash and they will run away, all right? Check all the get rich quick schemes that has ever taken place in this country, like the MMM I mentioned earlier. It got to a point they ran away with people's money, and the consequence is that when it crashes, a lot of people will lose their money, and if those monies, most times, are monies that are borrowed from other sources, and you can't tell stories to people that you borrowed money from. You have to pay. You must have to pay. Okay, so now, where would you get money to repay the one that you borrowed to play Ponzi scheme or betting, or your gaming? So if you can't get the money or generate the money to pay, you could be locked. You could be sued for defaulting. Okay, so it's the number one factor. That's the number one factor why people should desist from that. Okay, it causes big rain. Okay, enmity. Okay, yes, and if that happens, if you're someone that has a health challenge, like high blood pressure, all that, it could trigger a health palaver for you. Okay, you could get a health problem triggered because of that. Okay, so you can't pay the money, you are locked. Of course, the condition of the cells and prison yards that we have in this country, it's very poor. And if you're thrown into that kind of dungeon, you have to, it would definitely lead to a health challenge, a health problem. Okay, and if that happens, your health deteriorates, which could even lead to death. Okay, yes. The next thing is that, because if you borrow money and you cannot pay, and you start running, and the institution or the individual that lent money to you begins to pursue you, okay, it leads to social tension. Okay, people's mind will not be at rest. Okay, people around you, for instance, if you are living in a compound where there are other tenants, and you see you always keep running by the time they come for you and you jump from the fence, why, you create this tension in the environment that people don't want to associate with. People want peace of mind. Okay, they don't want disturbance of any sort. Okay, so by the time you keep playing, constituting nuisance, okay, people would be, disturbed, and they won't be at rest. Okay, so because it's, unrest in the environment. Okay, yes. The next thing is that, it distracts someone, okay, from focusing on pursuing one's goals. Okay, by the time they tell you about this one and you take your money there, if you're a student, exam is fast approaching and you don't have money again to feed yourself, you say, what would you do? Okay, when you lose your money in such a scheme, you wouldn't have money to, pay transport to school. What would you do? Okay, it's the distraction. So that's why we must have to desist from that. Okay, but once one, in one occasion or two occasions, wins this betting thing, it leads to an addiction. You see, some people cannot do without it. There are some people who wouldn't want to do any other thing in life apart from betting and gaming and doing the part of a Ponzi scheme or the other. So you see, it's an addiction, okay, that takes a long time to be broken or be liberated from. Okay, so that's why people have, okay, to run away, okay, look away from the distraction known as Ponzi scheme. All right, okay. So having said all this, what's the responsibility of individuals in the society or students in higher institution like Mr. Licky? All right, the first thing is that please play by the rules. Okay, yes, you are a student, focus on your academics. Okay, if there are side hustles for you to do to generate money, do it when you have time. Okay, yes, don't abandon your studies totally in pursuit of quick wealth, which is always not in existence. Okay, yes. Then the next thing is that before you engage in any act, whether it's a financial scheme or any, before you take any step, get as much information as you can get, before you do that. Okay, yes. For instance, if they tell you there's a scheme now that pays you 30% of the money you deposit, all you need to do is, what I advise you to do is to go and find out who is even behind this. Okay, yes, how genuine is the scheme. Okay, yes. So and you find out that most times these things are not always genuine. Okay, right. And the last but not the least is that have this mindset and this mentality that even though I have not reach the pedestal or attain the height that I want to attain in life at the moment, it's not the end of the world. Okay, it doesn't mean that the world has come to an end. Of course, it's always said tomorrow will be better. All right, and it's on this note that Mr. Licky for Amos is telling you bye for now. Stay with Eastmore's television.
My love and king, how beautiful you were, how beautiful you were. You're prettier than daisies and alluring roses, how beautiful you were. My Lord and king, how beautiful you were, how beautiful you were. You're prettier than daisies and alluring roses, how beautiful you are. I'm amazed at your wonder, at your beauty. I'm amazed at your wonder, at your splendor. The water at the edge of your face, what a wonderful fragrance, how blossoming around. Where will the stars your name? Every day of our lives, how beautiful you are. bam bum bum ba-da-dum, bum 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 bum
That is why
bum bum ba-dum,
that is
bum
why
bum
bum,
bum
worship
bum
you
bum
in that fresh to you.
ba-dum,
Oh,
bum
that is
ba-dum,
why
bum bum
that is
bum
why
bum
kneel
ba-dum,
before
bum
your
ba-dum,
presence in that
bum
fresh to
bum bum
you.
ba-dum,
Oh, I am
bum
amazed
ba-dum,
at your
bum
wonder, at your
ba-dum, bam bum.
beauty.
Bam,
I
da-da-dum,
am
ba-da-dum, ba-dum,
amazed at your
da-da-dum, bum,
wonder,
ba-dum,
at your
bam,
splendor.